Welcome back. I'm Beige.
I'm DB.
Our lovely co-host Kim.
Hello, everybody.
And this is DMV 411.
So the question today that is coming in from a viewer, I read over this question a couple of different times because it is a great question for me. It's actually a question that I've had for some time, and I actually put this question on my personal Facebook page the other day. Is it appropriate or is it necessary for a person to seek out professional counseling after a divorce? And should that person be a stranger? Because pastors want to counsel you. I mean, they're equipped to counsel you. But do you want them to really know all your business?
Exactly.
So this is after the divorce.
After the divorce. It's a lot happened.
Yeah.
Shit went down.
Yes.
You can't move on. But you don't want every damn body to know what went down.
Exactly.
What do you do?
And you're seeking a counselor for what reason though? Like, are you still in love with your ex-wife or husband?
I don't.
Is there legal issues that you have to work through?
Well, I don't think the question was put kind of in the form of, that was pretty much it. And the viewer, you can write us back and let us know if we are off the mark with it, or if we didn't necessarily. There wasn't a whole lot after that question, but it made me think about my own personal situation. I mean, I'm not in love anymore, and certainly not feeling after the person. But I think there's a level of brokenness that kind of lingers.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you need a little bit of assistance to figure it all out, to figure out what went wrong, how much of it was you, how much of it was them.
Where does it go?
I think it dissipates. I think it dissipates a little bit, and I think you reallocate that love. At least I did. I gave a little bit back to my friends that I had pulled away from my friends to give to this person. I pulled a little bit away from my family. I pulled a little bit away from my job. And I think once it ends, you kind of slowly give that love back to those people. And even yourself, because I pulled some love from myself too. So you give it back to those people and to yourself, and then you figure out how to be okay with that love.
Right. I think that's very important. Going through any breakup, having some time to reflect on yourself. Self-reflection is very important, and it can definitely help you in the future with your future relationships as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then having counseling after divorce, I think is important because sometimes you carry that baggage and all that trash into another relationship.
Right. Again, self-reflection is very important. And counseling, a counselor might be able to see you through that. But as far as going to your own personal pastor, I'm not sure.
Do you think that the walls that are built up after a divorce, how long is normal for them? How long does it usually take for those walls to come down? You always don't be staring at me too damn long. You really avoid people because you don't want to go back into a relationship. So it's like, I don't want to get too close to you because I don't want to have to tell you you're not the one. Yeah. So I just won't even get that close to you because I don't even want you to even think that I'm interested. But you can miss out on great friendships. So how do you get over that?
Wow. I guess with each person it takes, their own time or whatever. It depends on the person how long it takes to get over it, I'm sure. But you have to let yourself though. You can't get stuck in that rut where you are closed off. You have to open up and let yourself, even if it's uncomfortable. So it just depends on when the person is actually going to let themselves do it, because heartache and breakups, those things affect you only as long as you let them.
It's true.
Really?
Only as long as you let them. Yeah.
They affect you only as long as you let them.
Yes. It's
That's
all
interesting.
up to you. Yeah.
So can you be healed instantly if you choose to be?
I think a person can definitely be healed instantly if they choose to.
I don't think they were really in love if they could.
I agree.
You agree, really?
I think if you can instantly be okay, that you are not as deep as you say you are.
Really?
Yeah.
Because being okay does not necessarily mean that you're out of love.
That's true.
So I'm not.
Because you can be in love, I guess, or you can love someone. You know what I mean? You might have married them and was in love, and then over time, you know, you've fallen out of love for that person, but you still love them. The love is different.
Yeah, I grew up in church, obviously, and I'm a Christian now. So I never knew, I would hear people say, but I never knew how, people say, you're my soulmate, or we're bound spiritually. I never knew how much of yourself is thrown out of balance when a divorce happens.
Wow.
The first time, when it first happens, it changes your dreams. It changes when you're in love. It changes your dreams. It changes everything. Especially if it's a divorce that you did not foresee, or a breakup that you did not foresee. It changes everything. Yeah. Like, your dreams are different. Your sleep patterns are different. Right. Your fears are different. Some fears that, if you're used to a husband sleeping in bed with you, you have you've been years or whatever with no fears or somebody's going to break in the house. Now those are back. If you have a wife that is, that was with you and you're used to being with that wife, and you have that fear the first time you get sick for really, really badly. I don't have anybody.
I feel like you feel that person's still so much in your life or in your mind that you automatically, like, say for example, if you were to get robbed the next day, the first instinct would be, oh, let me call my husband, but he's not your husband. I think during that point you're still in love with that person.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And getting used to not having them.
Right.
So
I think that takes time.
It's a psychological breakdown, ain't it?
Not just love, period. Is just such a touchy subject, because I was reading an article not too long ago, and it said that when the human brain, or when the mind realizes it's in love for the first time, it's like cocaine. Like the same effects that cocaine does to your body, the dopamine effect, that happens to you when you realize that you're in love. Like, you can't sleep, you're happy, the person's always on your mind. Different things that happens, your heart rate goes up, it increases when you think about this person, the butterflies in your stomach, all of that is the same effect that cocaine has on your body. The same dopamine effect is the same effect that your mind has when you realize that you're in love with somebody. And that's very, like, that's hard. It's very powerful. Cocaine, can you imagine? Like, that, it's a strong feeling to shake. And when you do go through breakups, it takes time. Just like a crackhead or a dope fiend or whoever, it takes time for them to shake that drug, if that makes any sense. But people do over time fall out of love for whatever reason, and it might be easier for them to deal with the situation, but I feel like love just doesn't just disappear.
So, I would say just don't let anybody rush you through your process of recovery. If you've gone through divorce, or you've gone through a hard separation or a breakup, mourn that loss. Like, take the time that is needed to miss the person. Take the time that is needed to understand what you've lost. It's not saying that you want it back, but understand it, learn from it, so that you can move on as a whole person. It's extremely difficult to do. Most people don't have the right answers, neither do I. But I know that a lot of people are going through it. A lot of my friends, like I said, I've gone through it. So I know it affects people in extreme conditions, and it affects them a lot in society, and it shapes their behavior. When you meet a person, their behavior may be different towards you or towards some other people simply because of a divorce. And they were completely different before the divorce happens, but it does change people until they can get over it and recover.
I think that a lot of people, and it's unfortunate, they automatically assume divorcees as being damaged goods. Like, what's wrong with this person? They not married and they're how old? Oh no, it must be something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Like, that's automatically the first thought that comes in a lot of people's mind when they say, oh, this guy's divorced. Or, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm John, and I'm divorced. You just get that. You're curious to know, why is this person divorced? It just doesn't seem right. And I think that's sad that some people automatically assume that about divorcees.
Do people say, and I don't know, I would never tell somebody I'm divorced. If someone asked me if I'm married, I would say no. I would never say I'm divorced. So do people announce that they're divorced?
No, I don't think
they do
if they're
either.
not asked.
Right.
If somebody, is not. Have you been married before? yeah, then that's how they're gonna know. But
Mhm.
I don't think that many people just come out and announce, oh,
Say
I'm
divorce.
divorced.
Right.
Yeah.
They ask you if you're married, you say no, and they ask have you been married before, you say yes. You assume there was a divorce.
Right.
Right.
But what about those people who still wear their wedding band